Welcome back, friends. We're so honored to welcome author Nat Cassidy, who will be at the Library Center tonight for part of the the Horror series, which is not just in October, we learned last time from our friend Conrad, just so you know. Nat, so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming all the way from New York.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I've never been to Missouri before. This is my first time.
Okay, then I'm going to ask. What do you think so far?
I love it.
Okay, correct.
I love it.
Correct answer. Correct answer. All right, you're going to be at the Library Center tonight.
Yes, sir.
Talking about your new book, which is a collection of stories. Tell us about this new project.
Yeah, it's called I Know a Place. It is a collection of 13 scary stories ranging from my Bram Stoker Award-nominated novella Rest Stop, which is about a hapless musician who gets trapped in a gas station bathroom by an unseen assailant, to science fiction. There's some true crime in there. There's a time-traveling story. There's a sad poem about old age and the people we lose who might not actually be lost. There's a epistolary story. Basically, I wanted it to be as eclectic a collection as I could, while all the stories are still themed around isolation and claustrophobia and that specific dread when a conversation goes the way you're not expecting. And if that doesn't sound intriguing enough, to cap it all off, it begins with an intro by the king himself, Stephen King.
What?
So pick it up for that, if none of those stories sound intriguing.
If there's no greater honor, especially for this genre,
Mind-blowing.
than Stephen King.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Was that an honor when he agreed to do that?
I still kind of can't believe that it is true, but it's there in print. So I
that
know
means
that
he's
it's
read
true.
your work.
He's read my work. He said very kind things about it. The intro is 6 pages long.
What? Guys, you have to go to the Library Center tonight. I mean, come on. Stephen King approved.
Right.
I'm just saying. Where do you... Okay, I gotta admit, I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't usually watch the scary movies because I get so scared and get in my own head. Where do you get the inspiration? Are these based on real-life stories, or are they fiction, nonfiction?
Some of them are based on real-life stories, but for the most part, it's because I'm a scaredy cat, too.
Oh.
I think that is one of the things that kind of unites horror fans in general. We're all very anxious people, and, you know, we walk into a room and we're like, what's going to happen? What's the worst thing that could go on? It's just that horror authors then have found a way to kind of make that tax deductible and are like, okay, what things am I afraid of? How can I put it out on the page and kind of put it in a controllable environment? And so anytime I sit down to write a story, I usually approach it from a premise, you know, a thing that I'm afraid of, and then a character who I will usually imagine is like the worst person to go through that premise, and then see how they change over the course of the story.
Why do you think people love to be scared? Because there's so many people who I've known through Conrad who this is their genre.
Yeah.
And they like watching true crime, you know, or those kind of shows. People like to be scared. Yeah,
they do, and I'm very grateful for it. And I do too. I love being scared. I love when a story can really unmoor me in a way. I think one of the reasons, there are probably many reasons, but I think one of them is that bravery is a muscle. And when we find ourselves going towards the things we're afraid of in a controllable way, in a story, in a movie or something like that, we're exercising our ability to compartmentalize and to realize that we can survive these things, or that the things that we are dealing with aren't as bad as we think. There was an interesting study that was done in, I want to say 2022 or 2023, that actually found that people who are predisposed to like horror and consume horror regularly weathered the pandemic in a healthier way. They were more, quote, psychologically resilient during lockdown, during 2020 and 2021. Because when you have gone through so many apocalypses and so many nightmare scenarios, when you start actually living through like a real life version of it, you find yourself a little more, for lack of a better word, comfortable, a little bit more grounded, because you're used to feeling unsettled, and so it's not as alienating an experience.
I always try to put myself thinking, what would I do in that situation?
Yeah.
Would I, you know, that fight or flight kind of mode?
Yeah,
what
exactly.
would you do? Now, so tonight at the Library Center, you'll be talking about this collection. Will you be reading? Will you be signing books? Can people buy them as well?
Good question. I didn't even think about reading. Maybe I'll be reading.
I'm just saying,
we'll find out. But yes, we will be signing books. We'll be talking with book influencer Jesse George about my career, about this book in particular, but the other books I've written as well, and you know, some of the questions that you have asked yourself.
Well, there you go. And it's at 7 p.m. tonight. That'll be the primary, but you do have other books. Can you briefly talk about some of the other books you've written?
I do, yeah. I am also known for my debut, which is a novel called Mary, which is sort of a perimenopausal riff on Carrie.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a novel, Nestlings, which is sort of my homage to like Rosemary's Baby. It's a New York set horror story in a glamorous apartment complex in the middle of the city. And then my most recent novel is called When the Wolf Comes Home, which is sort of an action-packed werewolf fairy tale chase novel.
What I love so far about meeting you is your genre of this scariness is like so encompassing of everything.
Horror's a big tent.
It's very big. That's what I'm learning. Is that
Yeah.
it's very big. It encompasses so much. So where can people find out more about you, your books, maybe buying them? Do you have a website? Or?
I do have a website that I update very intermittently, but you can find me on all the social media sites as well. I'm at Cat Cassidy on Meta, like
Wait,
Instagram.
now what?
Cat, I couldn't get my name.
Oh, I was
Someone
like,
had my
that's
name.
backwards, right?
So I had to do Cat Cassidy. And then I'm Nat Cassidy on the other ones, but on Instagram and Threads, I'm Cat Cassidy. And I update those probably more than I should. I'm trying
that's
to
a good
pare
problem.
back.
No, Nat, so good to meet you. Tonight,
You as well.
the Library Center, 7 p.m. Make sure you go check him out, meet him, buy a book, get scared, hear from the Stephen King endorsed author right here in the Ozarks. Thank you so much, Nat. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, friends, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to whip up a few cocktails with our friend Mandy from 417 Cocktails right after this.